Welcome to my third draft video. It's going to be the second one that I post. I actually recorded a really awesome second draft with a sweet red blue Wizards deck, but unfortunately there's a technical error with the recording, so I only have like one of the matches, maybe two of the matches on video. But we missed a cool draft and very cool 3-0 with some very interesting matches. But on to this one, craft a sweet mythic rare, Shalai, Voice of Plenty, hexproof, powerful gold ability if you end up in green or with some splash. There are other good cards in this pack. Goblin Barrage, perfectly serviceable removal, although in color I don't love. Blessed Light, 5 mana removal, Blink of an Eye is very strong. So those are the other cards I would probably consider as first picks. Urgoros, just a 2 week or behind. Too easy to remove, but Shalai is going to be the pick to start. Great color, strong mythic rare, flying is great. All right. Dauntless Bodyguard is solid. Unspectacular card. In fact, I like the Sphinx and the Deathbloom Thallid for this pack. Deathbloom Thallid, I don't necessarily love 3/2s in this format, but the Deathbloom Thallid has been really strong as just a rock solid card. It's just good at nearly every point in the game and has enough utility. Three drop slot is important to hit, but I think the Sphinx is just better, just a more powerful card. Only other card I'm really considering besides Bodyguard is Jousting Lance, but to me, it's between the Sphinx Thallid and the Bodyguard. And even though the Bodyguard's on color, and it goes really well with Shalai, right? If they can't kill your Shalai, we're going to take the Sphinx. Maybe you should take the Bodyguard there. But well, we did get a couple of interesting picks here, namely Sanctum Spirit versus Skittering Surveyor. I think the Spirit's good enough to just take, but the Surveyor's going to make any deck we play, and has some historic synergies. I think we all understand that Surveyor is really good, and if, for example, White gets cut, it's going to make anything we play. But we're going to take the Sanctum Spirit here. Maybe send a signal with White now. I know we passed the Bodyguard, but I don't think a second pick Bodyguard, third pick Bodyguard is really a powerful signal. All right. Here we're not getting a ton in our colors. Invoke the Divine's fine. I don't feel like I need to pick it this early. Temporal Sundering I'd feel a lot better about if I had some more legends. White, there are a lot of really quality legends in White that we can get, however, which makes me think it's possible to speculate on the Temporal Sundering. We might do that. We also have Elfame Druid and Llanowar Elves. I could definitely spec on the Elves. It's not like I'm locked into blue or anything. Green-White is totally fine. The Elves are good there. Elves are just always going to be a good card. We are passing a really good card. Let's take the Temporal Sundering. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it yet. Let's see if it pays off. You know, you get a lot of these 4-drop legends in White. So speaking of 4-drops, and this is actually a really good pack for us. So we've got Precognition Field, which I've heard is really, really powerful, but doesn't really fit into a blue-white archetype. We've got Even Sentry, fits perfectly into what we're doing. Another Evasive Body, a 3/2. We're crowding up our 4-drop slot a bit, and we've got Divination, which is just so good. I think I'm going to take the Divination at 3. I feel like we're going to be able to get other 4-drops. I don't expect, Deep Freeze, Candle to wheel Jousting Lance. Maybe we'll get a colorless pick out of this on the wheel, but I doubt it. I mean, we're probably going to see something like Plains, Sage, Power Stone Shard when we come back. But let's take the Divination here. And there's another legend to help us get to our Temporal Sundering, so that's exciting. We'll take Baird over the Coldwater Snapper, which is the kind of card you basically want in every blue deck. There's a mammoth spider, which I'm sure we'll come up against. But Baird is going to be perfect for what we're doing. It's unfortunate that it's a 4-drop, obviously, but uh, not evasive, but helps us clog up the ground, helps us slow down our opponent, and helps us cast our Temporal Sundering. So those are enough things to be good here. We can take the Wizard's Retort. There's definitely a chance we'll end up with some Wizards in the deck. Casting over 3 is not like the end of the world. I don't know that it's going to make the deck, so there's like a chance I should take Windgrace Acolyte here in case we open up a sweet black-white rare. We want to pivot. Is Retort really going to make our deck? It's not like I'm hard up for playables. Let's take the Windgrace Acolyte. I'm not really in love with Wizard's Retort. It's a fine card, but here we have a choice of Opt, Knight of Dominaria, Lingering Phantom, Partick Wanderer. I'm not really in Lingering Phantom territory right now. Knight has gone up for me. I'm less worried about the Thalids and the Spore, the random little guys than I used to be. Partick Wanderer is fine as a 6-drop. You in a slow format, 6-drops are fine. I guess we're going to take Opt, though. Now, let's take the Knight. Definitely can make the deck. Macy Unicorn versus Trapper. It seems like there are people who are really high on Trapper. We do have 2 historic spells, 3 if we end up playing the Temporal Sundering, which makes the Trapper better than the Unicorn. In our deck, potentially, Unicorn's pretty good, though, as a 2-drop. It's one of the only good bears in the format. And good 2-drops are hard to find. Let's take the Trapper, though. People seem really high on it, so let's take it. So Lance versus Invoke the Divine. You like to have an Invoke the Divine in basically every deck. Lance does trigger Historic. We're certainly beaten down a lot. Let's take the Lance here. We'll take Syncopate over Healing Grace. It definitely could make our deck. Befuddle is okay. There's a world in which that comes out of the sideboard. The Sage is just basically useless. I don't really think there's even upside in the Sage. Okay, so we're in a solid place coming out of pack 1. We took a lot of the good white cards. We got past the Baird, which is nice. So we can feel confident that we're in a good color. You can see we really want Sealed Away here. The next best card in the pack is definitely Eldritch Reborn. It probably is better than Seal Away. That's probably close, but just raw card advantage. Eldritch Reborn, even if you're not sniping something good, like who cares if they sacrifice a 1/1 token and then they discard a card and you get a card? Like it's just card advantage. It's a lot of work to set up around it, but we're going to take the Seal Away. I took it a little early on accident, misclick, but thankfully we took it and not something else. Well, here's a bunch of good cards in other colors. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering is a freaking beating. If we had the Skittering Surveyor right now, I might consider taking Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. We need to get some more legends, however, to make that and the Temporal Sundering work. Knight of Malice is awesome. Whoever's in black is about to get hooked up with an Eldritch Reborn and then a Yawgmoth's Vile Offering or Knight of Malice. I'll probably get the Knight of Malice. These are 2 of the best 2-drops in the format, Kavu and Malice. I mean, we're definitely taking the Journey Mage. Even casting it for 5 is satisfactory. Thrain's Temporal Gateway, I've seen it be good, but I'm just pretty sure it's bad. That's my quick thoughts on Thrain's Temporal Gateway. Is it temporal? Is that what I should be saying? I'm watching the Pro Tour in the background, by the way. I don't think the mic can pick that up, but the black train continues for whoever's on our right. Here we've got Weight of Memory and Even Sentry. I don't feel like I'm hard up for ways to for things to do on turns 5 and 6. I think I'm going to take the Sentry, even though it's kind of clogging up our 4-drop slot, and we may get some other good 4-drops. I the legends are really the only 4-drops that I'm worried about picking up here. So let's take the Sentry. And of course we get past another Sentry and another Journey Mage. I think Journey Mage is better here. We still don't... right now the only wizards we have are the Journey Mages themselves. But I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a Tellurian Scholar or two. Or maybe like a Vodalian Arcanist. I have enough 4-drops. I'm going to take the Journey Mage here. I think it's just better than Sentry. Well, we got Build-A-Bear flying style here. Arcane Flight. We don't have a Snapper, but we could end up with one. I like that this puts a lot of pressure on them to deal with flyers. If you have a few other ones, it also makes your guys a little bit bigger. If you've got a Sphinx and they've got a Sphinx, or we've got, I think the Arcane Flight is good enough to make this deck. Also makes Jousting Lance sweet. Does expose us, obviously, to the risks that any aura does. I don't know if it's better than Invoke the Divine. Let's take the Invoke the Divine. We might be able to get an Arcane Flight later. I think Arcane Flight's fine, though. The Invoke the Divine is probably going to be in the deck. Well, here we get a Mesa Unicorn. I think that's... we're pretty happy to have that here. Dub, I've seen Dub get mixed reviews. Some people like it. It's still just so expensive to expose yourself. So I got a lot of bodies here. I don't know that we need the Knight. Knight wearing Lance is good. Relic Runner, we have 1, 2, 3 ways to trigger it. It also wears a Lance. Okay. Is it better than Knight? I like the Knight trades with the 1/3s. Let's take the Relic Runner because the upside's higher, and the Knight, we're not really going to miss it. So here we've got Weight of Memory, Rescue, and Blood Tallow Candle. I like Rescue here in some ways. Run back those Journey Mages. Seems pretty good. Bounce a Historic Spell, play it again, Trapper. But I think we've got to pick between the Weight and the Candle. We have 1 removal spell right now. The Candle's a nice historic trigger for our Trapper. The Weight's definitely the most powerful card. Let's take the Candle. We're a little more tempo-oriented. Ooh, that's a late Chronicler. You can't take a double blue spell here. Let's take the Wanderer. We already have a Befuddle if we want to play one. I don't know if the Wanderer's going to make the deck, but not bad to have one in the board. So we've got a Knight, we've got a Dub, and the Temporal Gateway. It's hard for me to imagine I'm going to want this Dub. There's just not a lot of decks you play that don't have any removal. I mean, maybe I end up with like a Danitha or something. Doesn't that help you cast auras? Let's take the Knight. It may not make the deck. Now we'll take a Weight over another Knight. Also may not make the deck. Mill Giant. Sure. Confessor is just better than Evangel. And a Sage. Yeah. So we'll run out. So right now we're in a good spot. 17 playables. Plus some stuff in the sideboard. We haven't picked up any legends that we wanted to, unfortunately. We haven't gotten the Danitha or the Double Strike guy or Naban. So I guess we would hope to pick up some of that stuff in this pack. That's not where we're going to start, however. I think this is an easy pick for me. Adeliz is powerful. Another Untamed Kavu. Snapper will be good in this deck. Offering is good. Plenty of good stuff in this pack, but not a ton for us. I think Blink is the easy pick here. We are getting a little creature light, but we have some in the board that we can turn to if we need, and I think we can pick up some. I think Blink is just kind of an irreplaceably good effect. Okay, so we've got a Memorial of Genius. a deep freeze, a reproach. This is tough between, to me, reproach and memorial. I think we want the reproach. It's turned out to be pretty good in this format. Um, I'd love to get the snapper at some point, but I think reproach is the right pick. It stinks to pick 2 spells to start this, but my spell slots are really getting taxed a bit. Maybe we can cut some of this stuff. Wow. Another legendary sorcery. It is too bad we have not picked up any legends here. And we continue to get sweet spells that I want to pick. Let's see. What if we cut... If we cut the weight and the invoke, it takes us down to 6 spells, 11-6. We're really going to need to pick up some bodies if I take this divination. But casting divination in this format feels just like you're winning most of the time. I think I'm inclined to take the Drake. Yeah, let's take the Drake here. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe divination's better. Wow. Speaking of sweet spells, we will happily take Time of Ice. I mean, probably the best tempo spell in the format. Awesome in our deck. Awesome in basically every deck. We will happily take this. We're passing a Journey Mage, but then some stuff that isn't our color. I imagine we're going to see that Knight again. Not that we need any more Knights. Well, we're getting a late divination. We really want bodies, but we'll take this for the time being. There's not really anything it's competing with here. We're definitely going to have to start making some cuts. Again, no more bodies in this pack, but Memorial is a great pickup as well. We're probably going to have to play, some of these other cards. I don't know where the Tolarian Scholars are at right now. We'll take a Snapper versus Sergeant at Arms. I've been really underwhelmed with Sergeant at Arms. I get that it's a better version of a Tolarian Scholar, although it doesn't turn on our Journey Mages. Snapper, we don't have the Arcane Flight. We probably will get one on the wheel. We got one late last time. We're a little short on 3-drop bodies. Sergeant at Arms clogs up the ground, which is good, but I want the Snapper. It's just, I think it was LSV who was talking about the Snapper Sergeant at Arms. He was like, well, you get a bad card on the front end, a 2/3 for 3, and a bad card on the back end, a 2/3 and 2 1/1s for 6. So, like, what's so great about this card? So now this is tough. Arcanist, we have not... We can cast the weight, the divinations with it. It's a good 2-drop. It turns on our Academy Journey Mages. I think I want to take it over the Arcane Flight. Another Snapper. Hard to imagine playing both of them. Also hard to imagine playing a second Relic Runner. I'm going to take the Relic Runner because I think that the Snapper's just not going to make the deck. Well, whatever. We got another one. Wow. Divination all the way back to us. And the Journey Mage. Unreal. We didn't pick up a lot of bodies in the end, but we did pick up a bunch of cards that are good enough to make our deck. So maybe we should have been picking more higher upside picks because there's so many playables. I mean, I guess it's a sign that we're in the right colors. So let's build the deck. I don't think I've had an interesting build conversation yet. I think we have to let the Sundering sail, unfortunately. But that's the kind of high upside pick I think we were just saying is viable right now. So basically you're keeping all the bodies no matter what. In fact, let's Maybe the Relic Runners are better than the Knights if we're gonna play the Candle and the Lance. We ended up with 2 removal spells. I mean, I think the weight is a first cut. Invoke is fine, but we don't need it. The Trapper's just pretty bad if we don't play the Lance and the Candle. It's just kind of a bad card. Maybe 2 Divinations is the max in this kind of like tempo deck. That gets us to 17 lands. It's not great. Is this an 18 land deck? You can also cut the Candle for an Arcane Flight. I mean, the Snapper wears a Lance pretty good, though. I think the question here is, do we want the Candle over, like, a Homered Explorer? Considering I have 4 4-drop creatures, that seems just bad to me. So I think we're going to run this. 17 lands seems like too few considering our curve. But the 2 Divinations, to some degree, the Arcanist should help us get there. We have no double blue spells, so I guess that leads us white. A lot of our early plays are white. 5, 6, 11 white symbols. 5 to 11 blue symbols. Yeah, I think we want. 17 lands should get it done here. It makes me sad to cut the Invoke. I'm like confident we're going to get targets. But let's see where this takes us. This will be the deck. All right, so here is the deck. Let's take it for a spin.